everyone, so we're back here with Filigree Racing. Now, where we kind of left off on the last one was we got our transmission back together. It's ready to go back in. Now, I just have to go through, get everything ready, put it back in, start up the car. It should all run good. I did notice we have a small oil leak. It's either coming from our cam phaser or our valve cover. So I'll have to dig in, kind of see what is going on there. It's kind of hard to see it in the angle that it's at. But I'm gonna go ahead, get to it, so hope you enjoy. So at this point, the car's together, everything's ready to run. Now we're gonna go ahead, pull it out, run through the gears, make sure everything worked. Now I did look at where it's leaking. It's leaking right in this area, so it's gonna be either the cam phaser or it's going to be the valve cover. I'm gonna order the valve cover because that's gonna be a lot easier to fix. I'm gonna go through, order that, get it coming so that this next week we can fix it. But even then, it's really not a big leak. I mean, we had 2 drops of oil on the ground underneath the car. That's what kind of triggered me looking for it. But everything's together. We went ahead and we mixed MTF with RTF this time on Torco. We discussed it with Torco. They said that we really don't need to. It's not going to create some kind of super fluid, but we have it. They said it's not going to hurt it. It might be worth it to try out. They told me, you know, it's one of those things that it might make it feel better, it might not. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna try it out because I know we're doing an oil change here in the next 1,000 miles on it. So if needs be, I can drain it out at the same time, replace it, not a big deal. So let's go ahead and let's get moving. Alright, we're just kind of going up the road, verifying everything works right. The camera's a bit bouncy, but that's alright. Trying to get away from the cop because he was sitting there at that last turn. But it's going to get loud in here. All the windows are down and I have none of my window switches in. So sensitive than I remember. It sounds like we got a rotor dragging on the passenger side. That's not a big deal though. It sounds less like a rotor, more like something else is dragging. It sounds like a dust shield. But car's running pretty good. Okay, so we're back. Car's cooling off, letting everything run down. Now, I don't know if you can hear it or not. I haven't reviewed the audio, but from the sounds of it, I have my dust shield over here that is clacking around a little bit. I gotta fix that. I believe that the header's leaking, so I need to figure out what went wrong on that, or not really what went wrong, but I need to figure out where exactly it's leaking from. I have a feeling that it's right there between the header and the catback. I reused that metal gasket, and for some reason those metal gaskets don't like to be reused. So I'll go ahead, I'll be replacing that, not a big deal. And then that pretty much sums it up. But as far as the transmission goes, the transmission is actually shifting better than it ever has before, which is actually pretty good. I mean, it went into fifth, sixth pretty easily. It was popping through the gears really smoothly. So that tells us that, you know, our issue is resolved. So now we move on to our next thing. You know, I'll be fixing the header. I gotta fix the brakes because the brake rotors are actually cracking. That was one of the reasons that I decided to not race the last track event is because our rotors are cracking. I don't mind, you know, running, you know, my pads have about this much on them. That's okay. I can make it through a weekend like that. But the rotors cracking is not something I like to take a risk on. So those need to be fixed. Then we'll be cleaning up the interior a little bit, getting the windows actually rolled up because I totally forgot that all my windows are down. And I need to get them up and in place before I unhook them. But that goes in. That's going to wrap up this week. So see you again this next episode. And like I said, I already told you pretty much what we're looking at. We'll be also dropping the car off to Powerneedy so that we can get our harnesses mounted in it and he can build our seat brackets. But that goes in. That wraps it up. So have a good one.